Radio on 106.2 FM. This is the weekly Hajj show in English every Thursdays between 7 and 8 p.m. with myself, Mahmoud Hassan. We've already had two shows, two segments already, and today is the third segment or the third show as part of the series of Hajj programs. Before we get into today's discussion, a quick reminder: if you have any queries, particularly regarding Hajj, especially if you are going on Hajj, you're unsure about something, and you need some advice, or you need to ask some questions from the regarding the fiqh of Hajj, the jurisprudence of Hajj, and so on, you're more than welcome to ring the studio 01733602133 01733602133, or if you do not, or if you wish to text, alternatively you may even WhatsApp. The number is 07745278978 07745278978. Okay, today's show, today's Hajj show, as I said, is the third part in the series of Hajj programs, and a step-by-step guide on performing the Hajj and ensuring that we make the best out of this Hajj, and it is a successful Hajj, inshallah. So last week we began, in fact the previous week, the first show, we spoke about some introductory preliminary points about the Hajj, the importance of the Hajj, and so on. Last week we spoke about Hajj preparation, okay, and we mentioned that I spoke about 4 types of preparations: spiritual preparation, mental preparation, physical preparation, and number 4, travel preparations. So a quick recap and a quick review of some of these pre-Hajj preparations. Number 1, we need to prepare spiritually. That's really, really important. I'm not going to go into details because I spoke about this last week. But however, I'll just mention some of these points as a review and as a recap. So spiritual preparation, really, really important before we go for the Hajj. Okay, so number 1, I said the first point to remember is sincerity. Why are we going for Hajj? Okay, we need to ask ourselves, why are we going for Hajj? There should not be any ulterior motive, any ulterior aim or intention, solely to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is the command of Allah, it is the call of Allah, and we have responded to the call of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 1. And number 2, it's to reform ourselves and to make ourselves better individuals, because there's always room for improvement. So that's point number 1. We need to ask ourselves why are we going for Hajj? So it's to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and for self reformation, to refine myself. That's number 1. Number 2, it's about, if I could phrase it in this manner, it's about going for Hajj. It's about starting the Hajj before you actually get there. How do we start the Hajj before you actually get there? What I mean by that, what I mean is, let's prepare spiritually from now. And some of the best ways of preparing spiritually for Hajj from now is repentance. Number 1, repentance. Let's turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and let's ask Him to forgive us, and let's ask Him to pardon us for our reckless lives thus far. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us. So repentance is really, really important. As part of preparing for Hajj from right now, before we even get there, let's ask individuals that we have hurt or we have harmed for forgiveness. Okay, I spoke about this in detail last week, so I'm just going to list these points. And if anyone's harmed us, or anyone's hurt us, anyone's wronged us, then let's forgive them as well. Next point, if we owe anyone anything, there's any due that we owe, then let's settle it. If there's a debt, there's a loan, we've borrowed some money, we've borrowed something, some item, then let's return it and let's settle these debts. Next point, this is a very, very important and a crucial point as well, and that is to ensure that the Hajj that we perform, the expenses of the Hajj expenses are from a lawful source, from lawful income, from a halal income. This is very, very important, as it has an impact in the reward of the Hajj. In fact, many legal scholars, many jurists are actually of the opinion that the Hajj that is performed with unlawful, with haram income, is invalid. The Hajj is not accepted. Obviously, this is not the mainstream opinion, but this is, to show the importance and to show the importance of this point, that we need to ensure that this Hajj that we are performing, it is performed with lawful and with halal income. That's very important. And as part of the Hajj reformation is let's try to get our income Islamic compliant. Let's try to get our income and the wealth that we earn, the money that we earn, whatever profession we belong to, let's ensure that it is a halal and lawful profession or career. That's one point. Another point is how to prepare for the Hajj in advance. We need to be informed about the Hajj. Many individuals go for Hajj and they just follow what everyone around them are doing. They just follow the crowd, and whatever they see individuals doing, that's what they would do. So let's be better informed about the Hajj before we even go. And there's many ways of doing this. Number one, let's attend, this radio show and other shows. These are part of this message of being informed about the Hajj before we actually even go for the Hajj, educating ourselves about the Hajj before even going for the Hajj. So that's one, attending lectures, attending seminars, attending courses and so on about the Hajj. Number two, reading, get some good literature and read about the Hajj. That's number two. And number three, obviously, go to your local mosque. If you have questions, if you have concerns, go to your local mosque. You can ask questions, visit your imam, and so on. And we have this show. You're more than welcome to ring in. You're more than welcome to send your questions via text or via WhatsApp. Reminder, the number for sending a text or WhatsApp is 07745 278 978. 07745 278 978. And if you'd like to ring in, you're more than welcome to ring in as well directly. The studio number is 01733602133. Okay, so as part of being informed about the Hajj, we said attending courses, attending seminars. The group that you are going on the Hajj with, perhaps they might offer some course. So try to join in. This is of paramount importance. That's one point as part of the spiritual preparation for the Hajj is concerned. Another point is start from now. Start reciting some Quran. Start changing yourself. Start praying, the salah, the daily obligatory 5 times salah. Start praying it from now. Memorize some du'as from the Quran, from the Sunnah, from the Hadith. Get your hands on a good du'a book, that includes authentic du'as of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, du'as from the Quran. These are the best du'as that we could ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So get a nice du'a book which you could start learning du'as from now, and as well as the meaning, that's very important. And you could carry this little pocket-sized du'a book with yourselves on the Hajj pilgrimage journey as well. And last point, and this is a good practical tip as well. Anyone that learned you are going on Hajj, they will ask you to do dua for them. Listen brother, listen sister, pray for me, make dua for me. When you get there, pray dua for me. When you're standing by the black stone, do dua. When you're standing by the multazam, the well sought spot between the black stone and between the Kaaba door, if you get an opportunity, the du'as, they are accepted as well. When you drink Zamzam, the du'as are accepted. The first time when you look at the Kaaba, the du'as are accepted during tawaf and so on and so forth. People will tell you, on the plains of Arafah, when you're standing in Muzdalifah in the morning and so on, do du'a. How many people are you going to remember? Okay, it's easy for us to say, yes, I will do du'a for you, I will pray for you. And when you get there, then the easiest way to get out of this conundrum is to say, oh Allah, anyone that's asked me to do du'a for them, you accept their du'as. That's the easiest way, right? Out. But I think, let's make this journey of ours special by remembering. It's the thought that counts, right? By remembering people that have asked us to do du'a for them. Especially, sometimes there might be individuals that have not asked us, but you need to make du'a for them. Your parents, your children, your family members, your teachers, your imams, your scholars, your partners, people that have done favors to you, people that have helped you. Maybe many years ago when you were struggling with something and they helped you, you were struggling to find a job, they helped you find a job, they paid for your education, whatever the case might be. Anyone helped you, your neighbors, Muslims, non-Muslims, do dua for them. But when you get there, you'll be overwhelmed and it's difficult to remember all of these individuals. So a good practical tip is to make a little list, whether it's a hard copy, you get a diary, or you make a list on your phone. And anytime you meet anyone and they request you to make dua, pen down and note the name of this individual. And if they have some particular dua, then note that down as well. And more importantly, write down the du'as that you need to make, because there's many du'as that you need to make. There's many things you need sorted out, many things you need to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, many challenges you are facing, many problems you have. Maybe there's some issue that you have with your children, some problem you have with your partner, some problem, you need to buy a house, you're struggling to pay off the debts, you want to buy a new car, your car's not working, your children are not listening to you. You're about to lose your job, you lost your job, you need a promotion, you've been demoted. There's so many things, okay, to ask. So write these things down, okay. So in addition to making dua, using the du'as that are in the Quran and the Sunnah, make those du'as as well, and then make your own dua. That's very important. Whatever language you speak, English, Arabic, Urdu, Persian, Turkish, whatever language you speak, French. So you make these du'as. So these are just some spiritual pre-Hajj preparations as far as spirituality is concerned. Number one, spiritual preparation. So we've mentioned some points. Next, mental preparation. I said mental preparation. I spoke about this last week. I will only mention one point, because I think if we can work on this, then inshallah our Hajj will be an inspirational, productive Hajj, inshallah. So as part of mental preparation, I think an important point would be, let's work on our temper. Let's work on patience. If we lose our cool very quick, then I think we will have a difficult time on this Hajj journey, because there's millions of people, literally there's millions of people from across the globe. So they're all not from the same country, they're all not from the same ethnicity, different, various ethnicities, various skin color, various cultures, with various, from different backgrounds, speaking different languages. So it's really difficult. You are prone to get on someone's nerves, and someone will get on your nerves as well along the way. This entire journey is about patience. So work on your patience from now. That's very important. That's as far as mental preparation. Then the next point, physical preparation. I think this is very important as well, because in the Hajj journey and the pilgrimage, there is a lot of walking to do. Especially starting off from the tawaf. When you get there, the tawaf that you will be doing, then the tawaf, the circuits around the Kaaba, right? 7 times. That requires a lot of walking, and the pacing between the Mount Safa and Mount Marwa. There's a lot of walking there as well. And then when you get to Mina, and then when you get to Arafah, and then when you get to Muzdalifah, and then Muzdalifah to Mina, and Mina to Mecca, there's a lot of walking involved. So if you are not very active and not accustomed to walking, then get in the habit of walking daily. So that's as part of the physical preparation. And more importantly, I think, yes, walking, as I said, walking is important, but look after your health from now. Do some exercise, extra exercise. Start eating healthy as well. Drink a lot of water. This is a pertinent point there as well. It's important to keep this in mind. Always carry a water bottle with you. There's Zamzam everywhere available, so drink Zamzam. Try avoiding cold Zamzam. If you want, you could mix it, all right? But keep hydrated. But what's important from now as part of the practical preparation, as I said, walking. But importantly, walk with the footwear that you are going to use there in Hajj. This is very, very important for both the men and the women. Okay? Women could wear any footwear. Make sure you don't wear high heels, and don't wear footwear or shoes or sandals or whatever the case is with a thin sole, because as I said, there's a lot of walking involved. So get some good footwear, whether it's trainers or whatever the case is. And don't, if you are going to buy something brand new, then don't just wear it there for the first time. That's the biggest mistake you could make. Both brothers and sisters, get used to and accustomed to the footwear that you're going to wear there from here. Start walking in it from here, and daily walk around, using the footwear. Brothers, the slippers or the sandals that you are going to wear, I will speak about this. It's important, to keep in mind both points. Comfort is very, very important, and there's a legal criteria as well that needs to be met for the men folk. For the women folk, you could wear any footwear, any type of footwear, but ensure it's comfortable. Obviously, that's quite logical, right? But for brothers, comfort is important, as well as there's a legal requirement, and I will speak about this later on, inshallah. There's a legal requirement, so that's very, very important. The legal requirement, I'll just mention it briefly right now, and that is the ankles should be uncovered. So you need to purchase slippers or sandals. Basically, you can't wear shoes. Okay, men cannot wear shoes. Yes, women can wear shoes, trainers, whatever it is. There's no restrictions on the footwear for sisters, for women. But for brothers, for men, The restriction is you cannot wear shoes, trainers, whatever the case is. You have to wear sandals or slippers. And such sandals or slippers that the ankles need to be uncovered. You cannot cover the footwear, the sandals or slippers cannot cover the ankles. That's number one. That's according to all of the legal scholars, according to all of the legal schools. However, according to the Hanafi legal school, if you follow the Hanafi legal school, then keep this in mind as well. According to the Hanafi legal school, there's an added restriction. And the added restriction is, in addition to the ankles being uncovered, the upper part of the foot, you know, where the shoelace area, where the shoelace is usually tied, that upper portion, that needs to be uncovered as well. That's called the metatarsal area, or the metatarsal bone. That needs to be uncovered. Basically, that entire area where you tie your shoelace, the upper portion of the foot, even the area. So sometimes you get some types of slippers. Again, I'm speaking according to the Hanafi legal school, right? You get certain types of slippers that have these belts, okay, these laces at the top, right? It's uncovered. The shoelace area is uncovered, but then there's a belt at the top, you know, in the area between that's joining the shin. According to the Hanafi legal school, that area needs to be uncovered as well. So ensure that you wear appropriate footwear. You know, practical tip, especially if you're following, if you do not follow the Hanafi legal school, then that's fine. You only need to ensure that the ankles are uncovered. If the upper portion is covered, that's fine. But if you're following the Hanafi legal school and you are particular about this, then I think it's important for me to mention this as well. So hence I have mentioned this, that the upper portion of the the metatarsal bone area needs to be uncovered. Some good footwear for brothers, you know, the traditional classical flip-flops, purchase those. You will never go wrong. But ensure you wait from here. Yes, another point as far as the flip-flops are concerned. Don't purchase, you know, the usual flip-flops that you have, right? That, you know, sometimes you might have it in your bathrooms or in your toilets or wherever it is you go to the mosques, you find them. Don't buy those flip-flops, especially the ones with the thin sole, because there's a lot of walking that's involved and that's not going to help. Okay, especially, you know, that parts that goes between the two toes, the big toe and the middle toe. You don't want to develop blisters there as well. So it's important to ensure that you get some good flip-flops. You know, if you get the flip-flops from places like, you know, any of these sports shops, I'm not going to mention any specific name, but you go to these sports shops, you will get some good flip-flops with a nice thick sole, you know, rubber sole. I think you call them the croc, okay, blue croc flip-flops. Those are really good. You could, before purchasing them, you could even, you know, Google them and have a look at it online. These are good flip-flops. But ensure, again, brothers and sisters, ensure that you get used to wearing the footwear before you go. Wear them here daily and get used to walking in it. And another point for brothers, practical point as far as the practical preparation is concerned, get used to learn how to tie the ihram sheet. Okay, the lower sheet and the upper sheet. Learn how to tie it, and not just tie it and wear it correctly, but also learn how to walk in it. Okay, so sometimes what happens is before going for Hajj, we learn how to tie the ihram, but we don't walk in it. So learn how to walk in it, because you will be doing a lot of walking in those sheets. As far as how to tie the ihram, there's a lot of, you know, there's no legal way of tying the ihram, that this is a correct way or this is an incorrect way, or this is a halal way, this is a haram way, or according to this legal school you got to tie it. No, there's no such thing as that. Basically, you know, the private area needs to be covered for men. You know, ensure that the navel is covered as well, right? The belly button from the navel to the knees, that entire area needs to be covered. Okay, so however you wish to tie it, whether you tie it without using a belt, whether you'd like to use a belt, that's your prerogative and your preference. But if you do not know how to tie the ihram, then you know, you can go on YouTube and just type ihram tutorial. I'm sure you'd find many videos, many videos that would teach you how to wear the ihram. So get used to and get into the practice of wearing the ihram as well. So these are some preparations. I mentioned spiritual preparation, I mentioned mental preparation, physical preparation, and lastly some travel preparations. Okay, I've just received some questions. Is it permissible to tie knots in the ihram to secure it? Yes, it's permissible to tie knots. That's absolutely permissible, inshallah. If I do get time today, I will speak about the list of prohibitions, okay, or restrictions in the ihram. and then the permissibilities. Obviously, there's 101 things that are permissible, but generally areas of confusion. This is the reason I've got a list of permissibilities as well. So yes, it is permissible to tie the knots in the ihram to secure it. So that's fine. Whether you prefer tying the knot or you prefer using the belt, that's your call. Yes, it's permissible, inshallah. There's no hadith to restrict the tying of knots, whether it's the lower sheet or the upper sheet. Okay, next point in terms of preparation. Essentials, some essentials that you can carry. Again, there's many things that you can carry, for a usual trip that you would go to, whether it's a holiday, a vacation, the usual things that you carry. Keep all of those things in mind, whether you prefer taking your shower gels and your shampoos, or you prefer buying from there, and your creams and your lotions. That's all up to you. I'm not going to give you an exhaustive list, but just a few essential items I think that will enhance and improve this journey of yours, inshallah. Again, if brief Google search on maybe something like Hajj, a Hajj list, okay, Hajj packing list or something. I'm sure there's people that have compiled lists to help you, okay, packing lists to help you. So you could use that as a guide, but I'll just mention some essential items I think that will help, inshallah. Okay, number one, for brothers, ensure that you have your ihram, okay, especially if you are going directly to Mecca. In other words, obviously you'd be landing at Jeddah and then from Jeddah to Mecca. If you're going from Jeddah to Mecca directly, then ensure you have your ihram with you from here. Take your ihram with you, and you will need it on the flight for you to get into the ihram state. Okay, the ritual state of pilgrim sanctity, the ihram state. So you would be doing this on the flight. That's the easiest and most convenient before you land in Jeddah. So, however, for those brothers that are first going to Medina, from Jeddah you're going to Medina, then it's up to you. If you wish to take your ihram with you from here, that's fine. But if you do not want to, due to luggage weight restrictions and so on, again, that's up to you. You can purchase the ihram from Medina. There's many shops that sell the ihram there. So if you want to carry your ihram from here, that's fine. You can purchase the ihram cloth from there. So ensure you take your ihram, especially if you're going to Mecca first. Number one. Number two, as part of essential items, waist belt or ihram belt. Okay, to keep the ihram. There's a dual benefit to this waist belt. Number one, it's to keep the ihram tied. Okay, to keep it in place, to ensure it's tight and it does not fall down. But again, if you know how to tie the ihram with a knot and you don't need the belt, that's fine. But I think it's good if you have the belt, because there's a dual benefit, as I said. Number one, it'll keep the ihram fastened, and number two, you can keep valuable items in there. Okay, your valuable possessions, like your mobile phone, some cash, some money, maybe 200-300 riyals. As far as a practical point tip is concerned, always ensure you have some money with you at all times. Yes, when you're in Mecca, keep your possessions, your valuable items and possessions in the hotel room, in the locker, in the safe. Don't carry it around with you. Yeah, just keep a few hundred riyals with you. Okay, but leave the your jewelry, your expensive watches, or whatever the case is. Again, in ihram, you are allowed to wear watches. We'll speak about this. But some, valuable items, you can keep them. The extra cash that you have, keep it in the hotel room, in the locker, or in the safe. Don't carry it with you, because, as I said, I've mentioned this in the Hajj seminar that we delivered a few days ago. There are professional thieves that are there. Sadly, there are professional pickpocketers that are there, and the way they would, pickpocket your items professionally, that you would not even know, really. So you can keep some of your valuables in that ihram belt or the pouch. So an ihram belt would be handy. You can keep a little dua book in there as well. So that's I think if you would like to take this ihram belt, it will be handy. Number three, safety pin. Again, there's some brothers that find it uncomfortable to keep the upper ihram sheets fastened, because it keeps on falling and you have to keep on throwing it over your shoulder. If you think you would experience that, then you can take a safety pin and you can tie it and clip it there at the top. You can pin it there at the top. That's fine, so it doesn't keep on falling. That's okay as well. Again, this is for brothers, okay? Ihram, waist belt, safety pin, that's for brothers. Number 4, I think this is also important. Because, again, especially for brothers, but this might be handy and useful for sisters. as well. Because you'd be, especially brothers, you'd be in your ihram, and you're not allowed to wear underwear or anything like that. You'd be walking, and your skin would be rubbing together. So you don't want to develop a rash. So get some cream that you could apply in those areas where your skin would be rubbing with skin. Then you can apply some cream or some gel or some ointment there, inshallah. This cream is called anti-chafing cream. Anti-chafing or anti-chaffing cream. You can purchase this in your local pharmacies or drugstores and so on. You could purchase it from there. There's a good cream that I would encourage you, if you would that I could suggest. It's called Lanacane. The reason I would suggest this is because you could even use Vaseline, but Vaseline leaves this residue. Okay, inshallah, we'll continue after the break. We will go for a short ad break right now, inshallah, and we will resume thereafter. Jazakumullahu khairah.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
Penny Appeal are doing something special. They're giving you the chance to make sure that 100% of your zakat is going to help people who are in desperate need. So this year, give 100% of your zakat to poor and needy people with Penny Appeal and reap the rewards of fulfilling this beautiful pillar of Islam. Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.
City Homes Estate Agents are your #1 independent family-owned agency in Peterborough. We offer a range of services including buying, selling, letting, mortgages and conveyancing. Why not call us today and find out for yourself why our customers return time and time again. We have a track record for achieving some of the highest prices in and around the area for our clients. With over 10 years of operating in the area, we are the experts in this market. Put us to the test today by calling 01733 348 677 and quote discount code RADIO for our exclusive rates for this promotion. City Homes, bringing people together for over 10 years.
Do you have lots of clutter at home or in the office that needs to be kept but nowhere to keep it? Ivet Self-Storage offers a secure, affordable, clean and dry home for your belongings. We have security systems in place which are monitored 24 hours a day, ensuring that your items are safe. With a simple monthly payment, Ivet Self-Storage provides secure and tailored facilities to meet your specific requirements, whether short or long term. We offer the best prices and longest opening hours in Peterborough. For more information, please call on 01733 306 456 or visit us at Ivet Way, Westwood.
You have one new message.
Please, can you call me, please, for God's sake? I'm really in trouble. Please, Allah da wasta, call me.
This was a real message. It was left not just for us, but for you. Thousands of our brothers and sisters in the UK are crying out for your help. Don't hang up on them. Find out more and fulfill your third pillar with us. Visit nzf.org.uk. National Zakat Foundation, serving zakat payers and recipients nationwide.
Salaam Radio is celebrating its 1-year anniversary. The entire community is invited to the Salaam Radio Summer Festival, Sunday the 20th of August at the Triangle Park on Occupation Road, Peterborough, from 11 to 7. Free entry and all are welcome. Funfair rides, bouncy castles, children's activities, food and clothing stalls, chocolate fountain, face painting, archery, penalty shootout and much more. Plus, Salaam Radio will be broadcasting live from the event with free gifts and giveaways. For more information or to book a stall, please contact 07722 55 88884 or email info@salamradio.co.uk. Salaam Radio Summer Festival, Sunday the 20th of August at the Triangle Park on Occupation Road, just at the end of Gladstone Street, 11 to 7. We look forward to seeing you.
If you fall asleep at the wheel, you'll put your life in danger, and the lives of others as well. Before you feel tired, pull off the road into a services or other safe area. Drink some strong coffee. and take a quick nap while the caffeine kicks in.
This is Salaam Radio, Peterborough's Muslim community radio. Broadcasting on 106.2 FM and online.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Salaam Radio. You are listening to the Hajj show here on Salaam Radio Live on 106.2 FM with myself, Mahmoud Hassan. These shows take place every Thursdays between 7 and 8 p.m. inshallah. So before the short break, we were discussing some essential items that you could carry with you that might enhance the nature of your Hajj pilgrimage journey. So I was speaking about this gel and the solution, this cream, especially for those brothers and sisters that are a bit more healthy, I think. Carry this with you. It would be handy, inshallah. So I was saying the cream that I would suggest, it's called Lanacane, Lanacane. The reason I suggest this cream is because it's unlike Vaseline. It doesn't leave a residue. It's non-greasy, and it's unscented as well. The reason I'm saying it's unscented and I suggest this is because the more correct majority opinion is together with avoiding perfume and scents, it's good to avoid and it's better to avoid scented soap, scented hand wash, gel, anything that's scented, basically creams and ointments. However, there is an opinion that does state that yes, you avoid perfume, but anything other than perfume, like soap, lotion, cream, medication, ointment that has a scent, it's permissible to use. But again, as I said, it depends which opinion you follow. The majority opinion, and it's always better to refrain and to stay away from anything that's scented, anything that you apply either on your body or your clothing that's scented. So anyway, this cream, this is that anti-chafing cream. It doesn't have a fragrance. It's unscented. It doesn't even leave a stain, and it doesn't leave a residue. It's non-greasy. So this might be useful, inshallah. And the last point I mentioned, I did speak about this early on, and remind ourselves here as well, is the footwear. Yes, for brothers and sisters. Ensure that your footwear is comfortable, number one. And number two, for sisters, there's no restriction. For brothers, I spoke about the restriction. Ensure that the ankles are uncovered. This is according to all of the legal schools. You're not allowed to wear any shoes. Wear sandals and slippers that keep the ankles uncovered. And according to the Hanafi legal school, there's an added restriction, and that's the upper part of the foot needs to be uncovered as well. The metatarsal bone needs to be uncovered as well. So, buy the flip-flops, especially the ones with thick soles, the blue croc flip-flops. Those are really good, inshallah. Or any footwear that you would like to wear. I know a few days ago, a brother said to me that I will be trying out the, I'm not too sure what's the correct name, but you get that, I think for those that are much more on the adventurous side, you get that footwear that fits into your toes correctly in each individual toe, 5 fingers footwear or something like that it's called, I think. Yes, you can wear that as well, because the normal one, there's no, the ankles are uncovered and the upper portion of the foot is uncovered as well. So it's up to you, but ensure that you get used to walking in that, whatever footwear you decide to use there. Make sure you are used to walking in it from here, okay, because you don't want to go there and develop blisters and so on. So these are just some points, okay, essential items. As far as some other items, I think that might help as well. Next point, carry a nice sleeping bag, okay, a good sleeping bag. Why am I saying sleeping bag? Yes, even though your Hajj package might be a 5-star, 7-star, you might be living in Zamzam Towers in Mecca and here, in a 7-star hotel in Medina. But when you get to Mina, you would be living with everyone else in the tent. In Mina, it's fine. You don't need a sleeping bag because you will be provided with mattresses and pillows, so that's fine. But you will need a sleeping bag on the night that you would spend in Muzdalifah. Okay, that's the night after Arafah. The 9th day of Dhul Hijjah, you would spend in Arafah that night. Okay, the night after Arafah, basically, you will spend that night in Muzdalifah. In Muzdalifah, there's no tents, there's no hotels, nothing. You would be sleeping on the ground, on the floor, literally, with the sky above you. You'd be able to stargaze that night. So, you will, yes, you might find people selling mats, these floor mats, but I think that's not sufficient. So take a good sleeping bag with you, a small sleeping bag, especially, those sleeping bags that you could fold really small and really compact. Okay, that will help you. And ensure it's not too expensive either, because if you wish to leave it there in Muzdalifah, you can leave it. Many groups, they actually provide you with a backpack just for the Muzdalifah night, in which they provide a sleeping bag and an inflatable pillow and a water bottle. So if your Hajj group is providing this, well and good. And if they're not, perhaps you could suggest that they provide this, especially if they're charging you extortionate amounts. So yeah, if you wish to keep your sleeping bag and leave it behind in Muzdalifah, that's fine. That's fine. You're more than welcome. So a sleeping bag, a good sleeping bag, and an inflatable pillow, a good pillow as well, a travel pillow, inflatable pillow. Again, if you don't want to travel, if you don't want a pillow, that's fine. You could just put your bag under your, under your head. It's just a few hours, so it doesn't matter. It's basically, are you looking for comfort, or are you looking to carry? It's a trade-off, and it's a compromise between comfort and between carrying a lot of weight. Because when you travel from Mina to Muzdalifah, the only thing you would have is your sleeping bag and this travel pillow, bottle of water and some snacks. That's it. So all of your luggage will be in Mecca, and some other luggage maybe you could leave behind in Mina, in the camp. So anyway, sleeping bag, inflatable pillow, and lastly, this is very, very important, inshallah, and that is you need to carry I'm not too sure what's the proper term, but you get these string bags. I think is that what you call them, right? The string bags. Those PE bags, right? String bags, PE bags, whatever you like to call them. Carry one of those, and try carrying a good quality one, because you don't want it ripping. You don't want the string ripping or the edges of the corner ripping, and then you'd have to tie it. Put some glue or whatever the case is. So ensure that your, that string bag or that PE bag is quite strong. Why am I saying you need to carry this bag? What's the benefit of this bag? The benefit of this bag is when you go to the masjid, when you go to the masjid, both in Mecca and in Medina, the Masjid Nabawi in Medina and the Holy Masjid in Mecca, the Haram in Mecca. This is for your footwear, both brothers and sisters. If you think you are going to use the shoe racks provided, yes, when you place your shoes in your footwear in the shoe rack, say Assalamu alaikum. When you get back, there's a high chance. It's very likely you will not get them. Okay? No, I'm not saying, people will steal your shoes, maybe, but, there's just millions of people, okay, and perhaps more than likely, your footwear is not going to be unique. It will be the same as everyone else, so it's very easy to lose your footwear. So just place your footwear, your sandals and your slippers inside this bag and put it behind your back. It's fine. You walk inside the masjid with it. When you're praying, just put it on the side and pray, both in Mecca and in Medina. That's number one. Number two, the second benefit is when you're traveling from Mecca to Mina, if you want, you can take a small handbag, or you can just suffice on that backpack, right, on that string bag. But especially for when you get, from your journey from Mina to Arafah, okay, on the 9th morning, when you leave Mina for Arafah, you will spend the entire day in Arafah. There's no luggage, just take that string bag with you. And from Arafah, the 9th, okay, you will go to Muzdalifah. And even in Muzdalifah, right? And then from Muzdalifah, you will be returning back to Mina. So for Arafah and for Muzdalifah, you will need this string bag. It'll be very handy, inshallah. You can keep as I said, obviously you'll be wearing your footwear there in Arafah and in Muzdalifah, but you can keep your, some essentials that you might have. You could keep it at the back, your water bottle, some snacks. Take some healthy snacks with you as well. You could keep some snacks in there. You could keep maybe your dua book, or the pebbles that you will need, okay, when you travel from Muzdalifah to Mina, the pebbles that you would collect in Muzdalifah. So this string bag should be useful, inshallah. Okay, so these are just some points that I thought might be useful. Again, if you if you want to carry an what do you call this, the eye mask, right? The eye mask, you are allowed to use an eye mask. I'm not speaking about the face mask, okay? The facial mask, that you use for hygiene purposes. That is not allowed in the ihram, okay, during the ihram, because the face has to be uncovered. For both men and women, the face has to be uncovered. So if for whatever reason you are wearing the face mask, the facial mask, the face mask, then the penalty you would need to give a penalty, and we will speak about the penalties later on. You either feed 6 poor individuals, or you fast 3 days. Okay, you either fast 3 days, feed 6 poor individuals, or you slaughter a small animal, a sheep or a goat. So sometimes medically you do need to do this. That's fine. Do it. You can cover your face, but then you would have to give this penalty. Obviously, if there's a genuine medical reason, there's no sin. But if there's no medical reason, then there will be a sin, and you will have to give the penalty as well. So I'm speaking about the eye mask. Okay, if you want to sleep, because in Muzdalifah you'd be sleeping under the open sky. So if you want to take an eye mask, maybe you could just take it from the aircraft if they allow you to take it, right? You could carry that with you. And if you want, you can take earplugs if you're a very light sleeper, because in Muzdalifah there's people all around you. So yeah, these are just some essential items, or not so essential items, that you could carry with you. Again, as I said, this is not an exhaustive list. There's many other things that if you want, you can carry. If you wish, you could carry with you some types of medication and toiletries and so on. The number of pairs of clothing you wish to take and so on. So that's up to you. Okay, so these are some of the essential items. Okay, some preparations that we spoke about. Spiritual preparation, mental preparation, physical preparation, and some travel preparation. Some essential items and not so essential items that you could take with you on the Hajj, inshallah. So I have another 10 minutes, I think. Okay, and what do I do in this 10 minutes? Because if I start speaking about the jurisprudence of Hajj, then I will have to repeat what I am saying now in the next session as well. So maybe before getting into the jurisprudence of Hajj and the way you do Hajj, I think let me just quickly give you a bird's eye view of the Hajj journey. Okay, I'm not going to go into the detailed jurisprudence of Hajj today in this session. I will do that next week, Thursday, inshallah. What you do basically from home to home, in other words, from here, okay, from Peterborough, or if you listen to me from anywhere else, from Peterborough to to the airport, to Jeddah, to Mecca, and back, in between as well, Mina, Muzdalifah, Arafah, Mina again, and so on, and back home. So I will speak about this in detail next week, but today let me just give you a brief bird's eye view. Okay, so inshallah you would be leaving, wherever you are leaving from, whichever airport, when you get onto the plane. Now you need to ask yourself this before you leave. What type? There's two types of pilgrims, two groups of pilgrims. There are those who first go to Mecca via Jeddah. They first go to Mecca, and then there are others who first go to Medina. There are those who first go to Mecca, yes, via Jeddah, and then there are those who go to Medina first instead of Mecca, again via Jeddah. Okay, or maybe directly, depending, but generally via Jeddah. So they first go to Medina, others who first go to Mecca. Now, obviously, if you first go to Medina, if you are first going to Medina via Jeddah, then there's no need for you to worry about ihram. Both brothers and sisters, there's no need to worry about ihram. You do not need to enter the ihram state. But you might say, I will be landing in Jeddah, I'm transiting from Jeddah, that's fine. You might say, there's people around me that would be in the ihram state, they are going to Mecca, but they're also going via Jeddah. That's okay, because your intention is not to perform the Hajj or the Umrah first. Do you understand? Your intention is to go elsewhere, which is Medina. So if you're either going to Medina, or even if you're going to Mecca, take for instance, you have some friends that live in Mecca, and you're going to visit them first. You're not going for the Hajj or the Umrah first. Okay? You're going to visit. Your intention is to visit your friends. Then again, you don't need to get into the state of ihram. Okay? Yes, you get into the state of ihram from that place onwards then. Do you understand? So in other words, the underpinning point is, if you're not going to Mecca first, you do not need to enter into the ihram state. If you go to Medina, right? You do not need to enter into the ihram state. Go to Medina normal with the normal clothing you're wearing and whatever the case is. Go to Medina, spend however many days you're spending in Medina, and then on your way from Medina to Mecca, that's when you will enter the ihram state. Your group leader would tell you when, but generally there's a boundary. Okay, the Messenger ﷺ has specified 5 geographical points or locations. These are known as the miqat. Okay, the boundary. There are 5 points, and then the scholars have drawn a boundary around these 5 points to make it easy, so you don't need to go to that specific location. Okay, but anyway, when you're traveling from Medina to Mecca, then there is the boundary there, the miqat boundary that was specified by the Messenger ﷺ is called Dhul Hulayfa. It's about 30 miles maybe from Medina. So that's where you'd stop. There's a nice masjid there as well, with a lot of facilities, ablution areas and bathrooms and so on. If you want, you could get into the ihram from Medina. If you want, you can get there and get into the ihram either way. But anyway, you will get into the ihram from Medina to Mecca. That's when you will get into the ihram state. But for those that are traveling to Mecca first, okay, via Jeddah, then it is important for you to enter into the ihram state. Both brothers and sisters, it is important for you to enter into the ihram state before you land in Jeddah. Because you see, Jeddah is inside the boundary. Yes, there's a minority of scholars, I will mention this opinion if you follow this. There's a minority of scholars say that Jeddah is actually on the boundary. It's not inside the boundary, it's on the boundary. So these scholars would say that you can get into the ihram state from the airport. But it's a very minority opinion, and the more correct opinion is that Jeddah is inside. Jeddah is inside the miqat boundary. It's inside the boundary. So you cannot cross the boundary. You cannot enter Jeddah. Okay, you cannot cross the boundary without being in the ihram state. So you need to get into the ihram state before crossing the boundary. And usually, more than often, most flights, they do make an announcement. Okay, they do make an announcement. So for convenience sake, I think for the brothers, sisters, you can wear normal clothing, that's fine. But obviously your face should not be covered. I would speak about this under the prohibitions, of ihram. But for brothers specifically, if you want from home, okay, you can wear the lower sheet, okay, and then put your shirt over, or your jubba or your thobe over, and get into the flight. Obviously, you still not. Remember, brothers and sisters, listeners, by wearing the ihram sheet, you do not enter into the ihram. Ihram is not sheets, that's just towels. Okay, you can enter into the ihram state by wearing normal clothing. Ihram is actually a state. And this state is declared or entered into by two things: by the niyyah, by intention, that I'm performing umrah, I'm performing hajj, and by the talbiyah, by saying the talbiyah. Talbiyah is labbaik, okay, by saying the labbaik, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika lak, so on. So that's how you enter into the ihram. So anyway, brothers, for convenience, you can wear the lower sheets, right, from home, so you don't have to carry that extra pair of pants or trousers, and then you can put on a thobe above you, over you, right, and make sure you carry the upper sheet in your hand luggage. And then when you're on the plane, when the announcement is made, okay, that we are about to approach we are crossing the miqat. Generally, there's the announcement that's made on the flight, and people around you would be doing it anyway. So all you do at that time is you get into the, you remove your upper garment, the thobe or shirt or whatever you're wearing, and ensure that you are just wearing, for men, ensure that you are just wearing two pieces of cloth. That's it. Okay, a lower sheet, a lower towel, and an upper towel. That's it. No underwear, no headgear, no hats. Okay, no kufi, no thobe. You're not allowed to wear socks. You're not allowed to wear shoes. Obviously, you're allowed to wear. You should be wearing footwear, but sandals and slippers, as I spoke about early on. Sisters, you can wear whatever you wish. Socks and whatever your normal clothing you're allowed to wear, except you are not allowed to cover the face. Okay, brothers, you're not allowed to cover. You are only allowed to wear these two sheets. You're not allowed to cover your head, nor are you allowed to cover your face. Okay, so when the announcement is made, then you get into the ihram state. How do you get into the ihram state? Make sure if you want, perform a ghusl at home. Okay, take a fresh bath at home before you leave, or do a wudu, and ensure that you're in the state of wudu, and then offer 2 rakat salah, 2 cycles. Okay, 2 rakat salah. Offer 2 rakat salah. You can offer this standing, or you can offer this sitting. This is not a fard prayer, so you can offer it sitting. Okay. Offer it sitting. The Messenger ﷺ, he would pray, supererogatory, nafil prayer. He would pray whilst traveling on his animal back, okay, on the conveyance. So not necessarily facing Qibla, away from the Qibla, and whilst moving and whilst sitting. So you could do this. As a footnote, if you're traveling, brothers and sisters, if you're traveling somewhere, you're sitting in the car, in the flight, and you are in the state of wudu, it's okay. You can pray 2 rakat salah while sitting on your seat. Pray some nafil salah while sitting on your seat. You don't necessarily have to face the qibla. Okay, you don't necessarily have to face the qibla, and you can be seated as well. So because this is a nafil salah, the ihram salah is nafil, so pray 2 rakat salah. After the salah, that's the time you remove your headgear or remove your thobe and ensure that you're wearing the 2 sheets and so on and so forth. And thereafter, you could do it before or you could do it after the prayer, that's fine. And thereafter, make your niyyah, your intention. The niyyah needs to be verbal. Okay, the niyyah this is the only place in Hajj where the niyyah is verbal. When you're praying salah, okay, it's not a requirement for you to verbalize and vocalize your intention, or anything else when you're giving zakah, when you're fasting. In Hajj, you have to vocalize and verbalize the niyyah. Okay, you could do it in any language. Oh Allah, I am performing Hajj, and obviously you need to mention the type of Hajj. Okay, oh Allah, I'm doing my Umrah first, or whatever the case is. I'll speak about this later on, inshallah. Okay, generally most people, they perform the Hajj Tamattu'. The types of Hajj, I will speak about this next week, but most people perform the Hajj Tamattu', and that means they merge between Umrah and Hajj, two separate ihrams. First they perform the Umrah and they get out of the Umrah ihram. Okay, and thereafter they re-enter into ihram, the second ihram, and that's the ihram of Hajj. So if you want, you can make that intention, oh Allah, I intend performing Hajj Tamattu', or if you want, you could just make the intention of Umrah, whatever the case is, and thereafter the Talbiyah. Okay, if you have questions, you're more than welcome to send in your questions, but I'm trying to be as swift as possible and as brief as possible, inshallah. The details next week, inshallah. So now, once you've verbalized the niyyah, and you've said the labbaik, the talbiyah, okay, the labbaik. Learn the words, okay? You can read it out if you want to, but learn the words, inshallah. Memorize the words from now and understand the meaning. The meaning is very profound. If I get time next week, I'll explain the meaning. You know, the meaning is absolutely profound. Labbaik, Allahumma labbaik. Oh Allah, here I am at your service. I'm here. You know, Allah has made the call, and now you saying to Allah, I'm ready, oh Allah. Whatever commands you have for me, I'm willing to obey. Okay, so, learn the meaning, and there's a lot of, there's a profound meaning of tawheed and monotheism in the talbiyah as well. La sharika laka labbaik, innal hamda wal ni'mata laka wal mulk, and so on. So now you are in the state of ihram. Now there are restrictions, and these restrictions and prohibitions apply. And there are many restrictions. For instance, I will speak about this in detail, but just to give you an overview of some of the restrictions for men and women, you're not allowed to wear perfume. You're not allowed to you're not allowed to trim, shave, cut hair. For sisters, you're not allowed to cover your face. For men, you're not allowed to cover your face as well, nor are you allowed to cover your head. Your head needs to be uncovered. You're not allowed to clip your nails, trim your nails, cut your nails. And there's a long list, inshallah. We will speak about the prohibitions sometime later, inshallah. Okay, so now you need to keep these restrictions and these prohibitions in mind. Okay. Now you might ask, why aren't we allowed to wear perfume? Why aren't we allowed to cut hair, cut our nails and so on? There's a reason, inshallah. The philosophy behind these prohibitions. When I speak about this in detail, I will highlight a few points. Anyway, now these restrictions apply. Now you are about to land in Jeddah. You land in Jeddah. Okay. You land in Jeddah. This is when your patience will be tested. Okay. Very, very important. Be prepared to spend a few hours. There's no point arguing and shouting and fighting, because they try their best to be as organized as possible, but because of the volume of people that are there, it's difficult. It will take you a few hours. So just be patient. Take some book to read, do dua there, take some snacks with you to eat, just sit around, try to make a light, moment out of it, recite Quran. There's no point arguing and fighting with your group leader, because there's nothing they can do. And then anyway, the coach will be there, and whatever the case is, the arrangements of transport are made. You will get to Mecca. For those that are going to Medina, as I said, you don't need to worry about the ihram. But however, when you're returning from Medina to Mecca, then you keep these points in mind that I mentioned about how to get into the ihram. So either way, when you get to Mecca now, many people, especially if they're first time, they're excited and they want to go straight to the haram, to the Kaaba, and they want to perform the tawaf and the umrah. Okay. Don't make that mistake. You've been traveling, you will be tired, you will be exhausted. Go to your hotel room, put your luggage away, get some rest, wash up, take a bath if you can. It's sunnah. Okay, at least have wudu. Okay, that's a requirement. At least to have wudu, it's a requirement. Okay, and thereafter, yes, obviously, I'm not keeping the sisters in mind. That will be in mind when highlighting this, the Hajj that will be on the periods. Or the menstruation. I will speak about this in detail next week. So anyway, get some rest, and then obviously now you need to get to the haram, okay, to offer your tawaf. Now what's important about tawaf is, you need to offer your umrah, okay? You need to offer the umrah. What's important about the umrah, keep these few points in mind. What's necessary about the umrah is, number 1, tawaf, okay? Number 2, the sa'i, the pacing between Safa Marwa, and number 3, getting out of the ihram by trimming your hair or shaving your hair. That's very, very important. These are the few points that you could keep in mind about ihram. Obviously, there's nitty-gritty details, sunnah and mustahab and adab and etiquette and so on. But you could read up about this, or we will speak about this in the next session. So anyway, get into the haram, perform the umrah. How do you perform the umrah? Perform 7 rounds, 7 circuits, circumambulation, 7 rounds around the Kaaba. Okay, and thereafter, perform your 2 rakat salah behind Maqam Ibrahim. Okay, wherever you get place. Obviously, keep that in mind. You'll be very busy. And then do the sa'i, the pacing between Safa and Marwa. And once you're done with that, thereafter you shave your hair or you trim your hair. Now you are out of the Umrah. Now you are clean. No more restrictions. The restrictions have been lifted. Now you wait for the Hajj days until you get into Ihram again for the Hajj. And that's on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah. And then you will travel, from Mecca on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah to Mina. Okay, on the 8th, on the 9th morning, you would leave Mina. You'll go to Arafah, and then Muzdalifah, and then Mina, and then Mecca, and then Mina again, and then your Hajj journey is over, inshallah. This brings me to the end of today's session. I know I did not go into the Hajj days in detail. I will do this next week, as well as the prohibitions and the penalties of violating the prohibitions, inshallah. Jazakumullahu khaira. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.